welcome back to BB Nissan Z, and today we're going to be doing kind of a compound video of oil change for a 370Z and also my review on my oil cooler I got from Z1 Motorsports, the Setrab 19-row oil cooler. One of the performance I see in it and see how much better it makes my cooling for my car versus stock. So the car will be taking 5 quarts of 5W30 synthetic oil. The brand doesn't particularly matter. I choose Mobil 1 just because I feel like it has the most brand name prestige to it. But as long as it's fully synthetic, as this car gets amazingly hot, and especially during the summer, and it needs to be fully synthetic to handle those temperatures. If you're not, you're just kind of damaging your car. But our first step is going to go ahead and be to check the oil dipstick, make sure we still got oil, check the condition of it, and go from there. As you pull out the dipstick, the first time you pull it out, you will go ahead and just lay it on your napkin to get it wiped off. My oil is kind of hot right now because I was just driving. But yeah, so you want to get that nice and dried off. And then you will just go ahead and re-put it into the dipstick hole and then pull it back out, and so we can check the level. So when you look at this, the level is between the high and the low, and my oil I looked at earlier is dark, but you don't see any kind of metal shavings in it. You don't see anything like that. Healthy oil will be in like an amber color when it's time to replace it. It goes in pretty yellow, tan, clear, and when it comes out it should be kind of a darker amber, but still clear, no milky colors, no metals, anything like that. That's how you can check kind of how healthy your engine is. But if it comes out clean, you are all set to go. You will go ahead and pop oil cap right here, undo the drain bolt. If your car is lowered like mine, you might have to use these. Just a few inch of ramp to get your car to drive up on so that a jack can get underneath of it on both sides. So I'm going to drive up onto that and then put the jack under, and we will get underneath. If you would like to just watch the review on the 19-row Setrab oil cooler, go ahead and head to this part in the video. Alrighty, so now under the car, you'll want to make sure that you have an oil catch can that's at least 5 quarts. I'm going to go ahead and align it to our little screw right here so that it falls down into our catch can. And then go ahead and crack that open. That is a 14mm bolt right there. Make sure you have that pouring part up top undone so that it drains faster. So let me go ahead and crack that loose. Alrighty, now we got this draining right here. If you're using one of these from Mike O'Reilly's, you'll want to make sure that that pop cap is up, otherwise it will not go in. And we're going to let that sit and drain. This car takes 5.1 or 5.2 quart. I have 5 quarts just because I'm not going to buy an extra quart for 0.1 quarts, and it'll still be within that range. The Setrab oil cooler, when you buy that for the first time, you'll need an extra quart of oil to fill that up. Other than that, it doesn't really add too much volume. Now, I highly recommend doing this on a level surface, but if you can't, try to get it angled so that the plug is angled towards the ground. If you're like me and don't have anything to do that, you use old college textbooks on one side to get it to level out so that that's angled like that. Alrighty, let's finish up. We're just going to wait for that to basically turn into a trickle and go ahead and seal it up. I'm adding this in later because I forgot to talk about the oil filter. The oil filter that I use is the HP 1008 K&N filter for the Nissan 370Z. I use those for the double oil change factor. They only have to be replaced once every 2 oil changes because they have a better fiber inside of them. But yeah, you will take off that oil filter as you're breaking loose your oil pan screw. Alrighty, we are down to a drip now. That should be good enough. We will go ahead and put our screw back on. There you go, get it down finger tight. Now, the book says to torque it down to 25 foot-pounds. But once you get it hand tight, and make sure you start with your hand, not some drill or whatever else. Once you get it down hand tight, move your oil container out of the way and go ahead and just tighten it about a quarter turn more, like that. Boop. And then it basically stops, so you can't really over tighten it. Now we're gonna head back up top. Up top, we're gonna go ahead and check our dipstick once again to make sure that it is all emptied out. And when we take a look, let's put it down on some weight. When we take a look, there's no solid bar showing on the dipstick. which shows that we have just about emptied all of it out. Maybe just a little at the very tip, but that's not a big deal. Once that's double checked, we can go ahead and crack open a room temperature one with the boys. You can go ahead and add 5 quarts of your oil to your vehicle. Now that we got that topped off, go ahead and add your cap back. And we're gonna go ahead and check that dipstick one more time to make sure we're in the range. Alrighty, and when we take a look at that, you see I am right at the high point, meaning we successfully got that oil change completed. The Nissan 370Z has a special feature in it that allows you to set your own oil changes, your own maintenance reminders and everything, so that you don't have an annoying light pop up on your dashboard. First, what you will do, your menu here, and you will scroll over until you see maintenance. Now we'll go to maintenance down there and click oil. You can set your own mileage here. I have set 6,500 for the full synthetic, but you will do lower, maybe 4,500 if you're doing a blend or anything like that. Full synthetic is good from 65 all the way up till I've heard 10,000. I just do on the low end to save my car the issues. What you'll go ahead and do is go down till it says reset. Now click the reset button and click set, and that will take you back to 0. Have a reminder for your oil changes in the Nissan 370Z. Now on to the next part of my video, the Setrab oil cooler. Can't quite remember the price of this. I think I actually received it as a gift. It was around $300 or $400 from Z1. And I went with this one over the Mishimoto just because the Mishimotos are just too expensive. They're all name brand. After having this Setrab oil cooler for a long time, I found out it really doesn't matter whether I have the name brand or not, because they end up performing the same way. A lot of the companies will make you feel like you need the bigger ones, the 24, the 30 row. But if you're not tracking every day in the high heat, the 19 works perfectly fine. Don't waste your money on a larger one because you think you might need it for your performance. No, this is perfectly enough for any Texas heat, daily driving, occasional sport driving, any of that. You'll see a 20-degree difference. That's about the average I see. When I used to go during the summertime and it was like 105 outside in Texas, I would get my oil temps up to like 230, 240. They were really high, and that degrades your oil super quick. After this cooler, during the summer, I don't really see my oil temps go above 200, to be honest. 195, 200 area. And that just helps you have your oil last longer and maintain a healthier state in your engine overall, and just better protection. When it starts getting too high, your oil starts getting really thin, really watery, and that's not protecting your engine. Yeah, this 19 row has been great for a 20-degree difference, even during the summertime when your engine's getting heat soaked and everything. Now I'm gonna kind of go through the routing, if you do decide to get it, how I routed it into my vehicle. Alrighty, underneath of here, you can see it. It has those 19 rows, and when you get the kit, it'll come with all of this hardware right here. Your bolts, your mounting bracket, and it just mounts into your already there radiator bracket. No extra fixing needed for it. This is obviously seeing a lot of road time and rocks and debris, and no bent fins, no holes, no nothing, and so it's held up really well. I've never had any issues with my leaking up here at these top joints at all. Dry as hell. And you bring it across the radiator housing here, and you're gonna bring it up around where the washer fluid reservoir is. You see it right back up in here. Yep. So once you're in there, you wrap it around, and I have it strapped here actually to the frame on that side. That's not going to move, that's not going to do anything like that, so it's good to have it strapped right there. Next, I routed it down and actually around my front sway bar. This was a little sketchier because that does move, but with the stainless steel lines, you can see it's contacting it, but it's had no damage, no fraying, and I've had this for over 2 years now. This is the sandwich plate, and if you thought that it was tight before, it's even tighter now. This is the oil filter that I have. That's the OEM sandwich plate. Then you have your adapter and then your filter right here. This is the thermostatic version that has the thermostat sitting up there at the top, but it'll connect down here in the bottom. It takes a lot of finagling to get it to work in here, but it will fit without leaking. The K&N oil filter that I use here is number SL1008. That finished up my video for this time, and I hope to see you on my next video. Thanks, bye.